What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my detailed review of the Space Predator, my top selling. And this is the little guy here. Now, I want to say I got mixed feelings about this one here. Initially, I was disappointed about this because it looks so awesome. I just expected this thing to be a really awesome flyer. I expected it to be faster than it is. And when I first got it, I had a few problems with it. It came with this, where is it? It came with this prop guard here that goes around the motors, and you have to move the props to get it on and off. And it seems like I think they clamped down into the motor pod here. I had a problem removing it. Usually when I upon receiving these RCs, these quadcopters, when they have prop guards pre-installed on them, I usually remove them before I fly it. And this one, the prop guards, this thing here is super hard to remove. It's almost as hard to remove as the props on the MJX X800, and that thing, those who have that aircraft know that it's extremely hard to get those prop guards off there. Some people even just cut the prop guards off of that thing. I even bent the motor shaft on one of my X800s trying to remove the prop guards off of it. But this thing is almost as hard. You have to figure out a smart way to get it off without ruining the thing. I had no idea it was going to be that hard. When I first received this thing, I tried to just pull on it and remove it, and I ended up yanking one of the motors out of off of the board. So it was a bad experience from the beginning, from the gate with this thing. When I finally figured out how to get the prop guards off, for those of you who still have this with the prop guards on it, you just remove the props, and then you're going to have the post from the motor sticking up out of here, and you just put it up against a flat surface and press on the prop guard. This part of the prop guard here, you just press down on it, and that should free it from the motor, from this motor pod here, and it eliminates you yanking the motor out of the socket like I did. But the only bad thing is you're going to be applying pressure against that post there, and it's a chance that it could come out the bottom, but I don't think it'll come out the bottom because there's a little nub in the inside that's trying to protect it from that. And so, but do it at your own risk. That's how I get this thing off and on. So I had to do a repair early on when I got it. So take that into account, that could be it. But once I got this thing flying, I was flying. I'm sorry, I did fly it once without removing this, and it was flying pretty okay. It wasn't fast at all. It was a nice little speed. It has three rates. It banks really well, and it was flipping okay. But sometimes it didn't want to flip. It would flip sideways or do something crazy. Sometimes I tried to do a flip and it didn't flip at all. It just did a little jump. And when I removed it, like I said, I pulled one of the motors out of the socket, so I ended up having to repair the motor. So that's what took me so long to start flying this thing, for you guys to see some footage of it. And once I got the motor soldered back on, and I removed the prop guards, it flies different with the prop guard off it. I guess they didn't calculate in the programming that you were going to be removing the prop guard, and so it has too much kick on throttle. It was very unstable. It was shaky and stuff like that. It's still that way now. Take into account, I did have to solder the motor back on, but I really don't think that would cause the issue that I'm having with this thing. It actually wobbles a little sometimes. It actually flies better when you're flying full pitch forward. It doesn't wobble so much. But when you come to a hover with this thing and try to just yaw fly it, like yaw and then fly a little bit and yaw the other way, it tends to wobble a lot. Pitch flying, it's a little better, but you can still see the wobble when you're doing turns and stuff like that. And when you do flips, Sometimes it doesn't do the flip. Sometimes it does a nice flip and recovers well. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it turns sideways, gets vertical and does a flip. And sometimes it just goes like this and does a little gallop and doesn't flip at all. But this thing looks really cool though. It's a nice color. I think the design of it is really awesome. I recently got the UDI U839, and that's what I think this thing is a clone of. So let me show that here. The 839 is actually smaller than this thing. The U839 is more tiny than this. The props are smaller. I actually took the props off of the Space Predator and put it on the UDI 839 U839, and this thing was flying really fast and stronger with these props on it. But I put them back for review's sake. But I bring this up just to show the size, that this thing is bigger, larger than the thing that it's cloning. It does have the same lighting and design language. It's the same, except for it takes a normal plug there for the battery, whereas this thing is reverse polarity and everything with the little micro pin connector. So, oh, also I did weigh this thing. It weighs only 14 grams, whereas this, well, in this form, without the battery and the props, without the battery and the prop guard, this thing weighs 14 grams, and this one weighs 13 grams like this. So just a little information for you guys. Yeah, this thing has 3 rates. In the low rate, it's a nice flyer, and it has a pretty nice pitch and yaw. And on mid rates, it flies even better. And on the third rate, it seems almost the same as the mid rates, but it is a tiny bit more pitch on it and yaw. However, it's not enough to make this thing start to fly fast. So this doesn't fly very fast. It does okay outdoors, but it doesn't fly fast again, and it has that flip problem. The lighting is really good. It has a really nice LED system. These little plastic things here, lenses on the bottom, really light up pretty nice. The battery, this is the battery here. It comes with a 150 milliamp hour battery. I think this is. It's 20C. Yes, 150 milliamp hour battery. It just fits in here. I was unable to fit any other batteries in here. Let me show you guys the lighting, the LEDs. So it has blue in the back, folks, and red in the front. There's no way you can change that because it's actually on the board. But those red eyes look totally awesome, though. So I ain't mad at them for putting the red in the front this time because you get to have those red eyes there. So I guess they did it so you won't be confused with the red eyes, because those red eyes are pretty substantial at night. You really see those red eyes coming towards you. So it looks awesome at night when it's flying. That's all there really is to say about this. The transmitter is this little tiny thing. It's a little bigger than the Cherson transmitter, so it feels a little better. It has shoulder buttons for flipping and all. It takes AA batteries, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 2 AA batteries it takes. And it has the flip button here. You press this in and execute a flip on either side. This is your rates button. It has 3 rates. This is your trims here. It doesn't have headless or anything like that. Just straight up classic flying, which I don't mind. It's very nice that way. That's it. And it comes with an instructions manual that's barely legible. And it comes with the 4 extra props and a USB charging cable, and of course this thing here, which is extremely hard to remove. So let's go check this little guy out in flight. Okay, so this is the indoor flight demo of the Space Predator by Top Selling, and we're gonna let him take off of this hanger here since he's so tiny. Little guest appearance by JXD's Pico there. So let's check this little guy out. And you can see it's a little touchy on the throttle without the prop guard. Those are not dropouts. That's me actually trying to adjust the throttle, my throttle management with it. Looks like crap because of how touchy it is on throttle. We're on low rates. This is the yaw on low rates, slow yaw. But you can see this thing has a really nice pitch already on low rates. But it just doesn't fly fast though. But pretty nice pitch on it. We're in mid rates now. Faster yaw. So pretty nice yaw on it now. So you can fly nice circuits with it indoors. You can see the wobble that it's having. I don't know if that's showing up really well, but it has a wobble to it while it's flying. Let's check out. This is the pitch, the side flying pitch there. Pretty nice. Okay, this is the high rates on it. That's the yaw rate, same yaw. However, there's a little more pitch now, so you can, whoop, and oh, I forgot to mention also that this thing does constant flips and high rates. So that's how you do your flips. Unfortunately, there's a flip there. The yaw stays the same as the mid rates. So I actually think the pitch on the mid rate and the high rates are probably the same, except for you get the same yaw as well, but you can do the flips automatically though. Now, the automatic flips are okay, but I found when pressing the button to flip, sometimes it doesn't flip. I just tried to do one and it just came back towards me. Let's try to do a frontwards flip. You see that? It just galloped backwards to me, it seems. And I'm gonna try a side flip with it. And it actually did a front flip. Didn't flip that time. So this thing is all whacked out with flipping. It doesn't do the flips that I try to get it to do a lot. And I don't know why. That's just the way it is. It tends to come backwards. Gallop backwards instead of doing the flip. Now when I try to do a side flip, sometimes it does that. Sometimes it actually does a front flip. Now I'm going to go into high rates and show you guys that it does do the flip when you're in constant flipping. Not a good flip, but it does do them actually. Let's see it again. So it actually does the flips, but it's a little unstable on the flips. So I actually had to come out of the third rate in order to be able to pull it from over there because it'll flip. Constant flips on high rates. I wish the company stopped doing that. So this thing is a nice flyer for a beginner, I would think, because of the fact that it doesn't fly fast when you give it full pitch forward, and it has a nice enough yaw to do circuits and turn indoors. So a beginner can really learn on this, I think, especially on low rates. This is low rates here that I'm on. It just has that wobble though. I don't know what's going on with that wobble, and it just doesn't flip. It came backwards to me that time instead of flipping. You can hand toss this thing. So I think there's just something weird going on with the accelerometer on it. It doesn't fly anywhere near as fast and as well as the U839 by UDI, which it's cloned from. So I don't know what's up with that. It would be an awesome flyer. I actually thought about putting the brains and guts of the UDI U839 and this guy. I think it's more deserving of this awesome body and frame. Larger props. But this thing is an okay flyer. I can't say it's bad. It just has its quirks. But as you can see, it does do nice funnels. And I'm on low rates too. Let me go on. I'm on mid rates now. Looks like it does just about the same funnels though on mid rates. That's because the yaw doesn't change much and the pitch doesn't change much. This thing pretty much stays in the same mode, it seems like, when you go between. There's only a very minute difference between the rates. And ultimately, when you get to the highest rate, the third rate, it'll just do constant flips at full input on the right stick, which is annoying. But I don't think they gave it much more pitch anyhow. So we're in LVC now. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Only the legs are flashing, and it's going down. And so that's it. The top selling Space Predator. Thanks for watching.